Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the life of a man who left an indelible mark on American history. A battlefield prodigy of the Civil War, Thomas Jonathan "Stonewall" Jackson. From his humble beginnings to his meteoric rise as a military tactician and his untimely demise, we'll traverse the remarkable journey of this legendary figure. So sit back, relax and travel back in time with us. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more historical content. Now on to Stonewall Jackson's story. Born on January 21st, 1824, in the rugged climes of what is now West Virginia, Thomas Jonathan "Stonewall" Jackson's early life was a crucible of hardship. A life marked by the untimely deaths of his parents, a challenging upbringing under the care of his uncle, and a childhood steeped in poverty. Yet the challenges of his early life did not quench his spirit. Instead, they forged a resilience in him that would later define his military career. Jackson's thirst for knowledge led him to attend local schools, and eventually his determination and grit caught the attention of prominent figures who secured him an appointment to the United States Military Academy at West Point. Despite starting at the bottom of his class, Jackson's tenacity saw him gradually rise through the ranks. His early life, filled with adversities, culminated in a remarkable achievement. Despite these challenges, he graduated from the United States Military Academy in the class of 1846. Jackson first distinguished himself during the Mexican-American War, particularly at the Battle of Chapultepec. This conflict between the United States and Mexico was a significant proving ground for the young military officer. Jackson displayed an uncanny knack for tactics and leadership, attributes that would later earn him the nickname Stonewall. His fearless charge against the enemy and relentless pursuit of victory were clear indicators of the battlefield prodigy he was destined to become. But war is not all about victory on the battlefield. It's also about the lessons learned and the skills honed. And for Jackson, the Mexican-American War provided a wealth of both. He learned the art of strategy, the importance of discipline, and the value of tenacity. As the war came to an end, Jackson took these lessons to heart. His next chapter would see him in the role of an educator, imparting his knowledge to the next generation of military leaders. After the war, he taught at the Virginia Military Institute from 1851 to 1861. When Virginia seceded from the United States in May 1861, Jackson joined the Confederate States Army, marking the beginning of a significant chapter in his life and the nation's history. His first notable contribution in the Civil War came at the First Battle of Bull Run. The Union forces were on the offensive, and things looked bleak for the Confederate Army. But the tide turned with the arrival of Jackson and his brigade. His soldiers held their ground with such tenacity that Brigadier General Barnard B., inspired by their resilience, famously said, "There stands Jackson like a stone wall." This statement echoed through the ranks and beyond, and thus Stonewall Jackson was born. The man was not just about holding lines, though. Jackson was a master of offensive strategy. His audacious tactics, such as the Valley Campaign, where he kept Union forces constantly off balance, became a legendary chapter in military strategy. He was quick, decisive and unpredictable, often taking risks that others wouldn't dare to, keeping his opponents constantly on their toes. Jackson's role in the Civil War was not limited to the battlefield. He was a stern disciplinarian, a deeply religious man and a mentor to his troops. His soldiers admired him, not just for his military genius, but also for his unwavering commitment to their cause. However, Jackson's contributions were not without controversy. His aggressive tactics and sheer audacity often put him at odds with his fellow commanders. His boldness was a double-edged sword, sometimes leading to spectacular victories and at other times to devastating losses. Despite this, there is no denying the significant impact Jackson had on the Civil War. His battlefield prowess, combined with his enduring nickname, ensured his place in history. His audacity, tactical brilliance, and the sheer will to fight against all odds left a mark on the Civil War that still resonates today. It was here, amidst the smoke and thunder of battle, that he earned his enduring nickname, Stonewall. Over the next 2 years, Jackson's audacious tactics and brilliant command led to numerous Confederate victories. His approach to warfare was nothing short of revolutionary. He was a master of deception, often using unorthodox strategies to keep his enemies guessing. His use of rapid marches and surprise attacks, combined with his ability to understand and exploit his enemies' weaknesses, often turned the tide in battles. Jackson's unique approach to warfare, his tenacity and his unyielding determination made him a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. His victories at battles such as Second Manassas and Antietam cemented his reputation as a formidable commander. But his genius wasn't just limited to grand strategies. Jackson also had an uncanny ability to inspire his men, to push them beyond their limits and extract their best on the battlefield. His battlefield prowess was so remarkable that he is still regarded as one of US history's most gifted tactical commanders. However, Jackson's brilliant career was cut short when he was accidentally shot by Confederate pickets on May 2, 1863. Mistaken for a Union soldier in the dim twilight, Jackson was struck down by friendly fire. The wound was so severe that his left arm had to be amputated. Despite an initial recovery, Jackson fell ill with pneumonia. 8 days later, he breathed his last, leaving a void in the Confederate command that was never truly filled. His death was a severe setback for the Confederacy. Beyond his military achievements, Jackson was known for his eccentricities. His idiosyncrasies painted a portrait of a man as unique off the battlefield as he was on it. Jackson was quite the hypochondriac, believing himself to be in constant battle with various ailments. One peculiar symptom he complained of was a differential in his body's circulation, which he thought was due to one arm being longer than the other. This belief led him to a curious habit of frequently holding one arm aloft to balance his circulation. His hearing, too, was a source of concern as he suffered from a significant loss that plagued him throughout his life. Yet perhaps the most unusual of his eccentricities were his dining habits. Jackson had been known to drift off to sleep in the middle of meals, and he had a peculiar fondness for lemons, which he would often consume whole, rind and all, believing it aided his digestion. He even fell asleep during meals and ate lemons whole to aid digestive issues. Today, Thomas Jonathan Jackson is primarily remembered as Stonewall, a brilliant tactician with an audacious streak that often brought him triumph on the battlefield. From the trials of his early life, to his audacious victories during the Civil War, to his untimely end and eccentric personal habits, Stonewall Jackson remains a fascinating figure in American history. His battlefield genius and unique persona continue to captivate us, underscoring the complexity of the human experience during the Civil War. His legacy continues to shape our